I've always loved and respected Soulsborne games, but I've never actually played a Soulsborne game. Plus, on top of that, Soulsborne games reward patience and persistence. Two traits that I've never really had in abundance. Yet, I've always had respect for them. But I was just never really able to show it. That is, until today, because I work at GameSpot now. It's my job to play games. Plus, everyone at GameSpot is currently excited for FromSoft's upcoming Elden Ring, so why not use it as an excuse to play a game that I've always wanted to play? So I pitched this video to my boss, and heaven help her, she said yes. Oh, also, before we get much further, I know that this is technically a Game of Thrones cosplay, and that is actually Sub-Zero's sword. GameSpot doesn't give me a budget for this. This is what I've got. I'm trying. But my desire to play Dark Souls also has an ulterior motive. I'm actually currently new to the GameSpot team, and now I kind of get to call people that I've looked up to for my entire career coworkers. And let me tell you, it's kind of a little bit intimidating. How can I ever measure up to these folks that I now work with? Okay, Kurt, I can measure up to Kurt, but the rest of these folks? I constantly feel a need to prove myself that I have a right to be on this team. And Dark Souls is the way that I can prove that. Hell, I've changed my gender. I bet I can beat Dark Souls. I mean, being trans is like the Dark Souls of So, I snagged myself a copy of Dark Souls Remastered, and I'm going to hunker down and play nothing else until I beat this game. And I'm going to chronicle each day of my journey with this game and record myself as I do so. Alright, my Dark Souls journey begins now. And after I close Kenna. I'm also not going to look up any help online because this is a test of my ability and my ability alone. However, to get me started, I did ask some of my coworkers to send me videos of encouragement, and I watched one of them at the start of each and every play session. So, as I settled into my quest with my standard equipment of Mountain Dew, Doritos, and a Banjo-Kazooie plush doll for comfort, I played the first video.
First off, congratulations, you're now entering the realm of true gamery, if that's a thing, and that's not a thing. That's gatekeepy. You're not a true gamer just because you played a Souls game. You're just cooler than everyone else. That's also messed up and not true. You're fine just the way you are, despite whatever games you play.
We weren't off to a good start with Kurt's video. Clearly, he didn't understand that Dark Souls was meant to test me, for me to prove myself.
Don't listen to a word I've said.
Don't worry, Kurt, I never do. As I began my journey through the Undead Asylum, the first section of the game, I was immediately struck by a surprise. There were actually instructions written onto the ground of the game. From everything I had heard, Dark Souls was a series that didn't tutorialize itself to the player. So I had my expectations immediately confronted, which was a little bit shocking. Maybe this game wasn't going to be as hard as I thought. And this continued because as I pressed on and began to explore the area, I was surprised by how peaceful it all was. Oh, hello. Hi, friend. Oh God. Okay. Yeah, so that was my first encounter with how Dark Souls loves to throw situations at you unexpectedly that you are nowhere near prepared for. There was no way I was ready to beat this massive dude who kind of looked like me when I wake up on a Sunday morning. Yet, I quickly learned that this was actually intentional by the game, as I soon found an escape and began to explore the area around me in order to get better equipment and practice before returning to my fugly friend. Over the next 20 minutes, I slowly explored as I got more comfortable with the slow yet precise mechanics and pacing of the controls, and built up my souls in order to level up. I'm loving kicking these bodies around. Whee! Finally though, I was ready to take on the boss and I earned my damn victory. Yeah! Take it right in your stupid belly face. It was an incredibly satisfying routine, and one which was just a microcosm of the entirety of the game before me, though I had yet to learn it. Still, I took satisfaction in my minor victory. If only I knew how minor it really was. I've got some humanity! I was so innocent then. From there, I met a giant bird and got whisked away to the game's main area and was truly set loose in the kingdom of Lordran. Here again, I was somewhat shocked at how open this world was, and I quickly explored and ran into a nearby graveyard because I thought that that was the coolest place to be. and then I got repeatedly destroyed by skeletons. Damn frickin' jerks. Yet, something strange happened here too. Despite these skeletons being clearly more powerful than I, due to the preciseness and methodical give and take between attacking, blocking, and movement that the game's combat supported, I thought I was actually intended to beat these guys. I mean, it felt possible and that the only barrier was my skill with the game, even though I kept dying every single damn time that I took them on. It actually took me 30 minutes to realize that while I could go that way, there was actually a much more intended and better path for me to take. And it was moments like this that had me start to understand that Dark Souls was not a game about direct restrictions. It allowed you to go anywhere you wished, but it softly guided you through failure. Which took me to Undeadburg. And it was here where I started to get a true vibe for Dark Souls. I was able to finally fully explore an area and feel a sense of progression as I beat new enemies and started to level up. Even if I died, I felt renewed confidence to pick up and keep going. And if you returned to where you died, you got all your souls earned back, which seemed fair to me. And at this point in the game, I had never lost a single soul. So instead of being scared at every encounter and corner like I had been before, I started to feel confident as I moved forward. In fact, I had too much confidence, because that's when I met this f***er. No! God damn it! Ah! Son of a bitch! This knight felt like my first real challenge in the game, and he felt like he was supposed to be easy. He was just a dude hanging out in a corner. And yet, I couldn't beat him. I kept trying over and over and over and over and over and over and over again. Come on, get up! Come on, come on! It was this moment that made me hate everything. I hated this guy, I hated this game, so f*** that night. Motherfucker! Finally, after 3 hours of trying, I just gave up and decided to just move on and try fighting the boss. 'Cause why not find a new way to lose again instead of doing the same thing over and over again? But then, something strange happened. I actually beat the boss on the first try, and I don't think I have ever felt better in my life. Ha! 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 Ha ha! I did a thing! Oh, and then he tells you, Victor, oh. Oh. Being honest, I was actually dealing with a few personal things the day that I started out this game. So, this moment kind of got to me emotionally. I legitimately can't tell you how much I needed that. I feel like I'm gonna cry a little bit because I legitimately needed that. I needed something to tell me that I accomplished something today. After so much shittiness both in the game and in my personal life that day, having a win actually kind of broke me a bit. That was like 10 times easier than everything I've been doing for the past 2 hours. And it's the boss. I hate this game. I hate it. I want to cry, and yet I also now wish to keep going. I hate everything that this game does to me.
Hello Jesse, it's me, your old pal Tam. As someone who's played Dark Souls for the first time many times, I've got a bit of advice for you. It's actually a rhyme that I told myself. The rhyme goes, bonfire lit, bonfire sit. That'll keep you from forgetting to do something very important every time you find a bonfire. Beyond that, patience, perseverance, and make sure you read those item descriptions. They're important.
Before I began the day, I was already having a strange feeling jumping back into the game. After I put down the game yesterday and went about my normal evening stuff that I do, I started to realize that I kept thinking about the game and how much I wanted to get back to it, like how much I couldn't wait for today to start so I could just pick it back up and just dive back in and just like hopefully figure out how to get just a little bit further, because I was just so curious about what's further in this world that I could discover and what I wanted to do. Something I did not expect going into my second day playing this game. And what's even more interesting is that starting on day 2, I actually cakewalked through the entire next area. The stuff that had frustrated me at the end of the last day, after just a good night's rest and fresh eyes, became easy, became second nature. Now, I have a theory about that. I feel like I had built up so much confidence at the beginning of my first day that it actually started to become overconfidence in the game. And eventually, that overconfidence came crashing down around me in true Dark Souls fashion. Get up! Right there! That constant push and pull of emotions distracted me. But coming into a new day with my emotions reset, I began to learn that not only was this game a battle with monsters, mechanics, and control schemes, that it was actually a dance with your own emotions. How the entire game was a meditation on letting go. Not that I didn't feel the lovely, lovely rush of endorphins whenever I beat a boss, though. After about 2 hours of trying to beat those damn bell gargoyles, I was nearly doing a freaking jig in my living room when I finally destroyed them. Yes! Ah! Ha! Victory achieved! Boom! Ha ha! Boom! This, I would come to understand, is the ballet of Dark Souls. The push and pull between your skill and your own emotions. Losing, but learning in each loss. Even if you lose all your souls and in-game markers of progress, you're conditioning yourself up here. So, from beating the bell gargoyles for the next few hours, I just progressed further and further into the game, coming to this emotional understanding. And this, by the way, is an excellent time for me to mention how much I just adore how this game is built. I've since discovered how much discourse there is around Dark Souls and its design, but as someone coming into a decades-old game in 2022, I was shocked by how meticulous the actual world design of this game was. How the world all felt continuous, interconnected, and purposeful. Like, for example, how you can see different areas of the game from other sections of the world. How the landmasses all felt like it made sense within their own universe and how it all felt connected to each other, despite it not making any real sense if you think about it. For example, you can discover that the lowest point in the entire game world is an underground lake, which is actually technically underneath a bed of fire. Now that makes no sense by our metric of how geography works, but in Dark Souls, it has this weird ring of truth to it and makes the world feel unique and yet truly alive. And I just adored it. Not only that, but the world and its hidden faults and foibles become etched onto your brain. Like, for example, this moment, which pissed me right off when I fell off a damn underwater cliff that you can't even see during the middle of a freaking boss battle. That is bullshit. Like, how the hell are you supposed to know that there's a damn underwater cliff that insta-kills you when you're fighting this frickin' Hydra thing? But the truth is, you're not supposed to know it. At least, not the first time. But once you figure it out, now you know for next time. The game is all about learning through failure. Most games today teach you through success, setting up minor challenges to teach you how to eventually take on larger ones. For example, you'll learn a new skill or get a new ability, and then the game will give you an easy challenge to test that ability, then it will give you a harder one, then a harder one, all meant to have you succeed in incremental ways along the way. And Dark Souls wants you to learn at that exact same pace, but by making you fail to get there instead. Oh no! Ah, what the f*** is that thing? And that is goddamn awful and wonderful at the same time. Yes! Victory! Oh god, that says Blighttown. I know what that is. Okay. By the end of day 2, I had faced and beaten several bosses and even got through the infamous Blighttown. And by the way, here's my hot take here. Blighttown, it's not as bad as its reputation gives it. Though I will say, f*** those f***ing mosquitoes. They can go right to hell, or, you know, whatever the hell equivalent is in Dark Souls. All of this I learned on my second day of playing with Dark Souls, and as I progressed through the game, I had great success. And yet, I still felt that something was missing. But I wasn't really sure what it was yet.
You got this, Jessie. You can beat the...
Dark Souls boss.
Despite how vague Evan's encouragement was, little did I know how much I would need it today. Because both day 3 and day 4 could probably best be described as the days that I got my ass handed to me. God fucking fuck this fucking fuck! Motherfucker! No! Fucking camera! Fuck you, camera! Fuck this camera! This fight's shit. Fuck this game. I just... Yeah, so on day 3, I faced off against the Wolf Sif, and on day 4, I faced off against those bosses entwined, Smo and Ornstein. Oh, I made a rhyme. Those bosses still suck though. Both of these boss battles took me hours upon hours of attempts to beat. Sif kept jumping around the damn battlefield with her cute little puppy sword killing me over and over and over again. Oh, he looks cool, puppy holding his sword in his mouth. Oh, it was a cool baby, oh god. Which was admittedly adorable, but freaking frustrating, while these two timing jerks kept beating the ever-loving crap out of me. Why do you bum rush over and over again? Getting two-teamed, at least in this way, is not fun at all. Even worse though, I got sucked into that most dangerous of gamer compulsions, the one more try. I'm sure for every single one of us gamers, we've all had this experience at one level or another, but I was up until 4 in the morning both nights when I intended to get to bed by midnight because I kept trying to beat these bosses just one more time. All right, that's a whole thing. In fact, because I was up so late one night, I actually missed our normal Tuesday 9 a.m. morning meeting, which thankfully though got canceled, so no one found out. Until right now. Lucy, this is just a creative flourish. I totally didn't sleep through the meeting. But back to the bosses, my frustration got so bad and so defined me that I had to remember what I had taught myself all the way back on day 1, that I needed to release my frustration. In fact, I eventually learned to use my time running back to the boss arena between attempts as moments of meditation and breathing to get myself back into the zone again. Okay. Before I would end up inevitably screaming again. Fuck you, fuck you, fuck you! In fact, this boss battle got so frustrating, I did something that I said I wouldn't do. I looked up help online. I got online and tried to find strategies on how to beat these two bosses, but to be honest, I actually didn't find any useful strategies like I hoped because I had already figured out most of them. But what I did end up finding was much more helpful. I found message boards and Reddit posts and YouTube videos, all from people sharing their own frustration at these bosses. And so while I knew I was frustrated, I, for the first time, didn't feel alone in that. I realized this feeling that I was having was part of the experience that everyone had had with this game. This was the experience of Dark Souls. And so, I kept pressing on. And finally, I beat those motherfuckers. And while Sif's defeat was honestly goddamn heartbreaking because that poor puppers gets so sad at the end of her boss battle that I just felt really bad killing her. Oh, this is so sad. Why would I do this? I wanted to kill you so bad that it makes me just really sad to kill you. I hate this game so much. But with Smo and Ornstein, oh, I cannot tell you how good it felt to watch these assholes die. Oh, God! It is 4 in the morning, and I've finally beaten this boss, and I can just feel this tension that I've had in my chest for the past 4 or 5 hours playing this f***ing thing. Just slowly, like, releasing. Oh my God. But sitting there at 4 in the morning, I finally realized what was missing. I had no one to share this with. I live alone, and I had told myself that I would do this entire Dark Souls battle alone. But reading those posts from others made me recognize how much I wish I could share my achievement, instead of just cheering at 4 in the morning by myself. Day 5 was the first day that I didn't have any new words of encouragement from my coworkers, and I felt more alone than ever. Yet I kept playing, progressing steadily, but I felt a sense of purposelessness. Who was I really doing this for? I thought when I started this journey that I could do it all by myself, that the purpose was to test my skill. But now, that reason felt empty, hollow. I felt hollow. I decided that night to play Dark Souls on stream for the first time with a friend of mine and my chat. And I was so shocked to find how many people were just excited that I was playing Dark Souls for the first time. Throughout the entire conversation that I had with my friend in the chat, I heard stories from people who were so excited to vicariously experience the game again through me, or people who had never played it themselves due to accessibility issues and wanted to hear my thoughts. Even further, I got to hear people share what this game meant to them, how it helped them overcome depression, or how it got them into exploring Nietzschean philosophy, or how obsessed with the lore that they were. And after I got off stream, I had members of my community send me even more advice on builds for my character, or what shields to level up to help me later in the game, and all this sort of stuff. For the first time, I felt the sense of meaning from this game beyond my own aggrandizement. And that honestly started to reflect my understanding of the game itself. There is a whole community of people breaking down the potential themes and lore of Dark Souls, which itself is very open to interpretation. But during my playthrough, what I came to understand was Dark Souls is about a world that does not give a damn about you. Oh, f*** you. You're just another person in this world, as opposed to other games where the second you step out into them, you're the most important person in the goddamn universe. Not so with Dark Souls. Lordran does not give a crap about you. And I think that is a large part of why people give up on this game. They get beaten down and give up because this game is hard, yes, but not insurmountable. It teaches you how to play through failure and requires patience, but it also tells you that this game is not going to cater itself to you. And that very dynamic, that exact feeling is reflected in the game's story and world. In Dark Souls, your character is an undead. And undead in this universe go hollow if they give in to the nihilism of the world, if they give up and just believe that there's no purpose in even trying anymore. It's so easy within Lordran to recognize that it does not care for you. So, why care about yourself? Yet, as you explore, while this world doesn't have any inherent meaning, you find and meet characters who have their own meaning and make their own meaning in this world.
I have come to this great land, the birthplace of Lord Gwyn, to seek my very own son.
Some philosophies and ideas are good, some are bad. In fact, the main story of the game revolves around a prophecy that was just sort of made up a few hundred years ago by those in power in this world in order to convince an undead person, like your player character, to eventually sacrifice themselves to keep the current Age of Fire going and keep the Age of Darkness, the end of this cycle of the world, at bay. And while that sounds all well and good, what you ultimately learn is that hundreds of thousands of undead have made this exact journey before you, and made the same sacrifice to keep the Age of Fire going. But no matter what you do, the Age of Darkness will come. All you can possibly do is kill yourself to delay it just a little bit longer. At the end of the day, you're not important, and you can't change the fate of the world. You were just told by others making their own meanings for you and for themselves to sacrifice, to find this bigger meaning for yourself, but ultimately, it's purposeless. It's creating stories that benefit themselves and give themselves meaning. And Dark Souls is about that exact feeling. It's a game about giving up to the meaninglessness of the world, or finding your own meaning. And I realized my original meaning for playing this game was to prove myself, to show that I was a badass who could defeat Dark Souls alone. But that left me feeling hollow. It wasn't a meaning that actually meant something to me. Instead, I realized what meant something to me was sharing Dark Souls with others. That this game was about finding connection, not in proving how good I was. And so, as I approached the end of the game, I asked the last person that I ever expected to ask to join me in beating the final boss.
Take a deep breath. Your life can't get any worse, so you might as well just enjoy this bullshit that we're in.
Yes, of all people, Kurt was there as I beat the final boss. Or, at least, as I attempted to.
Jesse, a really good thing is to not die right outside of the Gate of Fog.
In fact, we played for 2 whole hours trying to beat this final boss, who, by the way, is very handsy. And while Kurt did give me a lot of support...
I have faith. Alright, watch out for the bim bam boom scoop. Yeah, no, not when it gets handsy. It's nothing compared to the hand. Be calm, back up. Oh my god. That was a dicey heal. See, that's good. Using that rock. Yes. Oh, good, yeah. Yes. Yeah. Yes. 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 Yeah. I'm just gonna keep saying that over and over again. What an idiot. Yes. 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 Back up. Oh my god. Oh my. That was good.
I actually didn't beat the boss while Kurt was there. I literally beat the final boss on my first try after Kurt logged off. No! No! Kurt, literally the first time! In fact, it was so soon after that he left that I beat the boss that I was actually able to call him back to celebrate with me immediately after it happened. Like, I was like, this is too perfect if I literally beat it the first try after Kurt hangs up.
Congratulations!
I did it! We did it!
You did it! The best thing I could have done was just fuck off and leave.
In many regards, that experience epitomizes my Dark Souls journey. Because looking back at that final boss battle, I actually don't really remember beating him. What I do remember is Kurt and I joking as I faced him, and how he and I celebrated right afterwards. We did it together. I
didn't do shit. This was all you. Way to go.
Boom!
Yes!
Huzzah!
Yes!
I'm very pleased with this. The part that I did alone, the actual victory achieved, that fades into memory. So, in the end, I loved every second of this game, and I'm honestly kind of sad that I can't experience it again. But, that being said, I may have gotten, a little obsessed. Just a little bit. But the purpose that I found in Dark Souls is about the journey, and the meaning we put into that journey that matters. I legitimately needed that. I needed something to tell me that I accomplished something today.
Rhyme goes, bonfire lit, bonfire sit.
Why do you bum rush over and over again? Oh, it was a cool baby, oh god.
Congratulations!
I did it! We did it!
You did it!
And also, I learned that Kurt is weird. Like, very weird. Thank you so much for watching, and if you can't get enough of From Software or Dark Souls, this video is actually part of a series that we're doing in anticipation for the upcoming Elden Ring from Software. So please check out some of our other videos in that series, such as the wonderful Dave Klein's look back at one of the seminal games in From Software's history, Kingsfield. It's a really awesome video that you should totally check out, but until you do, I'm going to just leave you with this unedited version of Kurt's video that he told me not to share with anybody. So, enjoy!
Okay, tips for baby's first Dark Souls. If they say preheat the oven to 350, wait till the beeper goes off to alert you that the oven is completely preheated, because if you put the food in, like the cookies, before that time that beep goes off, and then you still kind of wait for the cook time of like 7 minutes, and it's not going to be the way it was intended. Take from that what you will. Don't listen to a word I've said. I don't even use this video.